Whoa. Okay. Hello, everyone. We're here. We're here together. You and me. It's Dream Warriors. 31 Days of Dread, day 23. It's rings today, and we're talking about this one. So let's hit that music. Yeah. So the funny thing is, I talk about this show a lot with nearly everyone in my life because everyone's excited when they hear about Dream Warriors. Not so much about the premise. I don't think anyone cares about the premise. I don't think anyone likes the title of Dream Warriors. What's really always puts me in like a process, and I start taking notes and I start recording ideas on what we could do with this show. Like do we evolve it into a Peter A. DeLuca type show, a AKAPAD type show? Yeah, excuse me. So a lot of times people just get excited by the sheer fact that I have a podcast, that it's regular, that it's not one of those I saw something the other day for a bi-weekly podcast. And I'm like, what's that all about? Bi-weekly? I'm like, oh my god, the 31 Days of Dread has I feel like rebirthed me and the show through fire, because it's tough, and it's definitely core, like it's definitely connecting right into Christmas, where I want to do something similar for Christmas, to work out the kinks of what I learned doing the 31 Days of Dread, of doing a regular show, and the steps along the way, and the important ones, and the steps you can kind of skip, and the ones that you can make shortcuts, like all of it. But yeah, we're here in the morning. We're talking 31 Days of Dread. We're in Philly. We have a red sunrise right now, and yeah, it's another great one. So follow me on Instagram, aka Pad 13. AKA Pad stands for other known as Peter A. DeLuca. My IG stories have updates nearly every single day of the sunrise. But yeah, we're talking. We're going to veer side type theme for the next two episodes. Next two episodes are, we're going to do movies that have stayed in horror conventions, but have they kind of have the accolade of being original, of turning the horror idea as a film set piece on its head, and showing people another way of doing it. And today, for this episode, it's Rings, a movie that already came out that people I just it does break my heart. It breaks my heart that some of these movies come out. They it's a 2017 movie. They're in and out of theater so quick. It came out this year, February 3rd, 2017. It's a remake of a remake. The budget for this movie was 25 million. I believe it made 27 million domestic. Worldwide, though, overall plus foreign, we're talking $83 million. So not bad, right? Not bad for a movie that is bashed, hated, made fun of, and forgotten. But as always, as in, in Dream Warriors fashion, we like this movie. I like this movie. There's because so much of it could have went uh, awful, and this movie stuck to a formula that the Ring, from what I remember from the original American movie, the 2002, and the what year was the third one was 2005. So we have '02, '05, and 2017. Those are your three American Ring movies. The first one, I remember when the first one came out, directed by Gore Verbinski, who is phenomenal director. I just love how his stuff's shot. So I remember when that came out, and that was might have been like my first must see horror movie that I remember sitting, like going to the theater to watch. And I had a girlfriend at the time, so it was one of those experiences. Up until 2002, a lot of my film going experiences were like highfalutin, Oscar driven movies, and like your regular summer fare. Like those were my destination ones. And by Oscar, I put the independent movies in that too, the ones that were not released around December. So the the Ring franchise, it's huge, and it's not really discussed. It's huge in the U.S. and it's like giant overseas, and it all comes from this Japanese horror novel. Like one book spawned all of this, and even overseas, we have. I mean, the novel came out in 1991. Time to butcher a name because well, it's 31 Days of Dread, so we butcher things all the time. But we're going to butcher a name. Koji Suzuki, that is the author of the Ring book. But yeah, so he writes a horror novel that really takes the world by storm. And the just going through some facts about the book. I'm not really sure the cool thing is that the cover artist for the Ring book is Chip Kidd, and Chip Kidd is the like rock star graphic designer, graphic artist of. He's done work in comics. He's more towards the DC comic book side, but he's done a lot of work with Batman. I believe he even wrote a Batman like design book. Like it might have been like The Dark Knight by Chip Kidd, and it's like it documents a lot of the work he's done. But I gotta add that to my Amazon list. Mental note. But yeah, so the the publication date is 1991. The English language publication date, though, seems to be 2004, 2 years after the premiere of the American movie, the American remake. So the funny thing, though, is that this, like we have it as a novel. I somewhat remember this also as a manga. There seems to be a sequel for the book too called Spiral. And just getting into this movie and just kind of like poking around the things around this franchise, it got me more and more interested in the source material. I would say more so than anything recently, because I really want to know like what spawned all of this. So yeah, so when we go through the Ring like as a franchise, here's a funny thing: the Japanese prequels and sequels. So it all started as Ring 1998, and then we have Ring 2 1999, and then we have Ring Zero Birthday 2000. So we definitely they went the prequel route, and then we have Razin, aka Spiral. So Spiral is the name of the second Ring novel. That came out in '98, and these are referred to as the Razin timeline. And so we have Sadaku 2013, and we have Sadaku 2 2000. Sadaku is 2012. What am I saying? These are names of the Razin timeline Ring movies, and Sadaku 2013. So we have three movies on the Hindu Nakahata, the original director for Ring. And then we have a Razin timeline. So we got six movies in Japan total. We also have a Korean remake called The Ring Virus. We have video game adaptations. We have a TV series also in overseas. So you can see that, and there seems to be like two rules of thought on exactly what timeline to go on when it comes to the mythology and the lore of Ring. So we jump UI we jump to US. We got Gore Verbinski. He directs one heck of a movie, and if you guys do like aren't really familiar with good old Gore, he Rango, um, the animated film. We have Pirates of the Caribbean. I think he did Weatherman with Nicolas Cage. I enjoyed that movie. We're going from memory here, though. But yeah, so this franchise, what did it add? Okay, and I thought Rings 2017 did something very important. It definitely expanded the power set of the supernatural entity, explained the curse, and I thought in a very concise way. If you're just not familiar with the previous movies, so on and so forth. But yeah, Gore. I brought up his filmography real quick. The only one of his movies I have not seen is The Lone Ranger, the 2013 Johnny Depp, Arnie Hammer update slash remake reboot. I'm sure they were hoping that movie was a hit to create a giant franchise out of, but it kind of fell flat. But yeah, he Verbinski, I give him credit because he definitely directed, I think, one of the all-time trilogies, which is the Pirates of the Caribbean, 2003 to 2007. Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, all the way to At World's End. And I love At World's End. I think that is the best pirate movie ever. Just the double crossing alone in that movie is just awesome. I love it. Yeah. So what Rings does well, I think it explains the the supernatural element of the entity, what is hunting everyone. It kind of re-solidifies the rules if you're not familiar with it, and it puts you on the path of other Ring movies, which is there's a investigation, and again, like what the Ring franchise is the when it comes to conventions for rules, developing this idea of a supernatural force moving through media, through screens. Nothing does it as well as Ring. Everything now has borrowed it. There's been a run of Facebook type movies, Facebook slasher, horror, stalker movies, and thriller movies recently, even this year. And they all borrow from The Ring. So we have the birth of conventions here, and we're now, it's going to take some time, but I think The Ring's, this failed update is going to it redefines these rules. It redefines it reminds people what works, and we're going to see some mining of this, and we're going to have people using some of these conventions, and they're going to perfect it. We go back to Pumpkin King, Pumpkinhead for this. I'm sorry, but yeah. So, what did I enjoy about this movie? I just thought it moved well, it flowed well. It one scene led to the next. I like the investigation, and it's been a while since I saw the American Ring. I never even saw any of the Japanese movies, and yeah, I just thought the performances in this movie were halfway solid. I liked the way it was shot. I thought it milked itself. I thought it milked the creepiness. I thought it definitely expanded and had. Like had some new ideas on how this creature can reach you. Vincent D'Onofrio, who is now becoming a, a convention of himself in horror movies. Gomer Pyle from Full Metal Jacket, Kingpin from the Daredevil Netflix series. He's the evil villain monster guy in Cell with Jennifer Lopez, but he played the same character essentially in Sinister. He was the exposition for Bagul, and so here he's the same, but he also doubles as the villain. Spoiler: that's the only spoiler you're going to get here. And the nature of his character is a further dissection of the entity and how this ghost works. And it was something that you've said to yourself in other Ring movies, in Ring 1, Ring 2. It's something you would say to yourself if you're having a casual conversation about the rules of the movie. And his character represents that. It's something that you would just say, hey, would this work? Would this somehow curve the curse? Like, would it delay it? Would it come looking for you still? His character is a dissection of the curse and the rules of the curse. I thought that was very well. They kind of put two things in one with him. But yeah, so overall, the movie ends as all horror movies should. It ends with a hook, ends with a good hook. It opens. The opening is Final Destination ish, but we are already because like the Ring movies open like Indiana Jones and James Bond movies. It's the end of one adventure and the beginning of another. Old movie serials did this, that's what inspired Lucas to do it with Star Wars and Indiana Jones and so on and so forth. So the Ring movies also has the ending of one curse and the curse gets passed on to the next person. And even the beginning of this movie challenges that. It challenges what we know about the curse, which it's on an airplane. We're in the air. We're flying. We're not near TVs. And the entity, the ghost, the girl, the visual of the girl, like always resonates, but it finds them. And we're adding another thing to the horror lore, which is the visual of this woman, of the girl. Incredible. Still used today. It's as important as the visual of the slasher, the silhouette of the slasher movie. The brawling man with the machete or butcher knife, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If we just go by silhouettes, definitely. So, yeah, the Ring franchise, we owe a lot to it, and I think we owe a lot to watch this movie and to have and to watch it just for how it defines and dissects the conventions and the rules of the creature that the first movie created, or I would say that I would assume came from the book. But yeah, and overall, film is directed by we're not pronouncing any name here, F Javier Goretes, and he has a short filmography. But it seems like he, Before the Fall, a 2008 movie, was really what put him on the map. And he is also, he is linked with the new Crow movie. And I would be all for this guy. I would be all for this guy directing a Crow movie. So I just looked up Before the Fall. And I'm just trying to get some... I'm not even familiar with this movie. I'm not, honest to God, I'm not familiar with much of his filmography. I'm curious. He's got one movie called Demonic, which I'm pretty sure. Okay, you know what? Demonic is, he's one of the editors, I think, for that. No, he's not. You go into black holes sometimes, but co-producer. Okay. He's co-producer for a movie 2015 Demonic that is available on Netflix right now. See, that's Netflix Ninja right there. When you know Netflix that well, you can just see a movie and you know if it's on the on the streaming service. But yeah, there's a lot I can say about this. I kind of want to save a little bit for a Ring. Like I want to do a full Ring analysis. Breakdown of the entire franchise because I think it's warranted. But I did dig this movie. I like even the beginning kind of gave me Final Destination feels. Uh, but yeah, it's worth it. It's got creepiness. It's got some cool deaths. It pulls in the Gore Verbinski visuals that I think will forever be with the franchise now. But yeah, sit down, just enjoy this one. But yeah, not perfect. But then again, what is? This is Dream Warriors. 31 Days of Dread. Oh, can we do that again? This is Dream Warriors. 31 Days of Dread, day 23. We're just having a good time. We're watching a lot of horror movies. We're creeping ourselves out. And I'm just getting depressed. I'm watching too many of these. But hey, signing off. We'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you later. Talk to you later.